Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. In this video, I will be showing how to create this glitter HTV and rhinestone tumbler wrap. To complete this project, I will be using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. If this is your first time cutting rhinestone flock, check out my video on how to create a custom material setting to cut rhinestone flock. While here, check out some of my other rhinestone videos. Come on, y'all. Let's get started. For this project, you're going to need a tumbler, some rhinestones, rhinestone flock, rhinestone transfer tape. You're going to need HTV anything and glitter HTV. You're going to need a brush to brush in your rhinestones, and you're going to need a rhinestone wax pencil to clean up your rhinestones after you brush them into your rhinestone template. I'll leave a list of everything in the description box below. To begin, I'm going to measure my tumbler so that I can get the correct size for the rhinestone template. Whenever you are creating any type of design for a tumbler, you always want to measure it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the height of my tumbler. And I will put the measuring tape at the top of my tumbler, and then I will stretch it all the way to the bottom. And as you can see, the tumbler is about 8 inches tall. So it's sliding. So let me try to place it again. So the tumbler is about 8 inches tall. And I'm going to make a note of that. Next, I want to measure the circumference of the tumbler. So I am going to wrap my measuring tape around the tumbler, and I'm going to pull it as tight as I can get it so that I can make sure that I get the most accurate measurement. So I want to pull it as tight as I can get it. And according to my measurement, it appears that my circumference is about 9 1/4 inches. So I'm going to make a note of that as well. Now that I have measured my tumbler, I can begin creating the rhinestone template. To create the rhinestone tumbler wrap template, I am going to be using the basic square shape. So to begin, I'm going to select the drawing tool on the left menu bar, and then I'm going to select the rectangle. I'm going to select anywhere on the canvas and draw a rectangle, of any size. Next, I'm going to size the rectangle. To size the rectangle, I am going to go to the top menu bar, and in the width, I'm going to type the decimal conversion of 9 1/4, which is 9.25, and then I'm going to hit enter. Then in the height, I'm going to type 8 inches and hit enter. Now that I have my rectangle size, I want to change the color of my rectangle. To change the color, I'm going to make sure that the rectangle is selected, and then on the right menu toolbar, I'm going to select the fill panel, which looks like a paint palette, and it's the third icon on your right. And then I'm going to change the color to black. Then I will select the line style icon, which is the fourth icon on your right tool menu bar. I'm going to select it. I'm going to select the second icon, and then I'm going to change the line color to none. This will be the rhinestone template. So the next step is to convert it to rhinestones. To convert to rhinestones, I am going to open up the rhinestone panel. Now you can select the rhinestone panel from your right menu bar, and the icon looks like a little jewel, or you can go up to your top menu and you can select panels, then select rhinestones. On this panel, you have 4 rhinestone effects. You have none, you have edge, you have linear fill, and you have the radial fill. Then there are the rhinestone sizes. You can choose from 6SS, 10SS, 16SS, and 20SS. Also on this panel, you have the rhinestone spacing, which defaults to 0.039, and this lets you decide how far apart you want your rhinestones to be. You have a freehand option to add rhinestones. There's also a release rhinestones that ungroup the rhinestones and allow you to make any adjustments that you need. And at the bottom here, there's a rhinestone counter, and this lets you know how many rhinestones are needed in order to complete your project. So I am going to begin converting the rectangle to a rhinestone template. Before I begin converting the rectangle to a rhinestone template, I'm going to make sure that I lock my aspect ratio here, because I don't want the dimensions of my rectangle to change. I'm going to make sure that the entire rectangle is selected. I'm going to go to the rhinestone panel and I'm going to select 10SS, and then I'm going to select the linear fill. Now I'm going to change my spacing to 0.025, and this is because I want my rhinestones to be closer together. Okay, so now that I have my rhinestone template, I need to create the layer so that I can upload it into Cricut Design Space. To create the layer, I am going to make sure that the design is selected, and on the top menu bar, I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to go to Convert to Path. Now I have my layer, and I'm going to save it as an SVG so that I can upload it into Cricut Design Space. To save the design as an SVG, I am going to go and make sure that the entire design is selected. Then I'm going to go up to the top menu and I'm going to select File. Then I'm going to select Save Selection. Then I will select Save to Hard Drive. Here, I'm going to name my template, and I'm going to name this one the Rhinestone Tumbler Wrap. I'm going to change my Save As type to SVG, and then I'm going to select OK. To cut the design with Cricut, I'm going to upload the Rhinestone template to a blank canvas. Here I have the design on the canvas in Cricut Design Space. So to make sure that the design cuts correctly, I'm going to make sure that it is sized correctly. So if I'm gonna go back over to Silhouette, and according to Silhouette, my template is 9.25 in width and 8 inches in height. So going back over to Cricut Design Space, I am going to make sure that the template is selected, and it is. I am going to now size the template to 9.25 in width, and then I'm going to unlock my proportions, and I'm going to change my height to 8. Once the design is sized correctly, I'm going to get it cut. Check out my video on setting up your material settings to cut the rhinestone flock. Okay, so let's get everything cut out. Okay, so here I am at my table, and I have everything already cut out. I cut out my HTV anything, my my heat transfer glitter vinyl, and my rhinestone tumbler template. Now, I went ahead and I cut the HTV anything out by hand because it was easier and faster to cut. But if you choose to cut yours with a cutting machine, the Rhinestone World suggests using the cut pressure of 272 with the shiny side facing up on the cutting mat. So now I'm going to go ahead and brush in my rhinestones, get them picked up onto the transfer tape, and I'll meet you at the heat press. Okay, so here I am at the heat press, and I am going to begin pressing the HTV anything and the glitter HTV together. So to protect my heat press, I have the parchment paper put on top of the pad on my heat press. I'm going to place the HTV anything onto the press with the shiny side up. I'm also going to place the glitter HTV on top of the HTV anything, which is the decal material, and I'm going to place that shiny side up. I have my heat press set at 315 degrees for 8 seconds. And I am going to also put a Teflon sheet over top. So make sure everything is on here. Okay. And I'm going to press it for 8 seconds. So I am using Caesar glitter vinyl, and so I can peel this as a warm peel. But it's really, really hot. Okay. Next, I am going to place my rhinestone template on top of the HTV, being careful not to shift the rhinestones too much so that they don't move around onto the glitter vinyl. I'm going to cover this with the parchment paper again. I've adjusted my heat press to 340 degrees, and I'm going to press this for 15 seconds. So remove the Teflon, and I'm going to peel the transfer tape from the glitter, but it doesn't look like it's stuck, so I'm going to press it for a little while longer. I'm going to do it for 5 more minutes. Okay, so now I've let the transfer cool down, so let's try to peel it now. Okay, so apparently you have to let the rhinestones cool down before you peel the transfer tape off of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it back up with some parts with the Teflon sheet, and I'm going to press it one more time for like 2 or 3 seconds just for good measures. Actually, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to flip it over and press it on this side for good measures. So I'm going to put the Teflon sheet over top of it, and then I'm going to press it again for a couple of seconds. Okay. So I'll let this cool down, and then I'll come back over at the table so we can apply the decal to the tumbler. Okay, so everything is cooled off, and I'm back here at the table, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to trim down the decal to the edge of the rhinestones. So I'm going to take the scissors, and I'm just going to cut the decal really close to the rhinestones, and making sure not to cut any of the rhinestones off. I'm just going to cut really close to the rhinestones. So I have my decal cut down, and so now I'm gonna prep it to apply it to my cup. To prep the wrap to apply it to my cup, I'm gonna turn it over, and I am going to remove the backing. But I'm not gonna remove the whole backing. I'm just gonna remove one side of the backing. If I could get it off. One side of the backing. I'm just going to remove one side of the backing, and I am going to cut it off, like kind of in the middle. I'm going to cut it in the middle. And then I'm going to cut some of this off. And then I'm going to place this back on to the backing. And I'm doing this so that I can expose the middle part of the decal, so that when I apply it, I can put the tumbler in this area and it'll stick, and then I can wrap it to see if it fits. So let me get my tumbler and I'll be back. Okay, so I have my tumbler here. I've cleaned my tumbler with alcohol, and so now I can apply my decal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz the cup with water, and I'm going to spritz the decal with water so that I can do a wet application. Wetting the decal and the cup will allow me to be able to pick the decal up and reposition it, so if it doesn't get laid down correctly. So I'm going to spritz some water on the cup and on the decal. And then I'm going to place my decal on my cup. Making sure that I have it exactly where I want it to go on my cup. And looks like looks like fine right there. Okay, so I'm okay with the placement right here. Looks like my sizing is off a little bit, but it's my cup and I'm okay with it. So then I'm going to wrap it around to see if it fits all the way around. And as you can see, the seams meet. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to spray the cup again, getting all the sides. And then I am going to remove the backing from this side, and I'm just gonna wrap the tumbler on this side. Making sure, trying to get it so that it wraps evenly, for whatever that's worth. And then I'm just gonna press it down so that it adheres to the cup. And I don't like that. Let's see. Let's try to adjust it again. I'm gonna put it up a little further. I'd rather have more white at the bottom than at the top. So I'm going to reposition it again. This time like that. All the way to the top. Like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to press it down. Making sure that I get it wrapped and laid exactly where I want it to lay. And because I have the water in it, I'm able to smooth it out so that it can lay down flat after I pick it up. And now I'm just going to remove the backing off of this side Remove the backing off of this side. Spray the cup some more. Spray the decal. And then I'm going to wrap this side. Wrap the decal around this side of the tumbler. Pulling it. Trying to get it to go to the top as much as possible. Okay. I guess that's the best that I could do with getting it to the top. Again, this is my cup. And I'm not too concerned with it, but I still want it to be a little presentable. So I'm gonna try to get it as even to the top as possible. Let's see. I have a slight overlap here. And that's easy to fix. Okay, so all right, that's my cup. That's my cup. And I have it, so the water that I spray on the cup will evaporate and then the decal will become sticky again. So that's my cup. All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you were able to follow along with my process. If you liked this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.